A great message for you. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Coach Randy Bird, aka Coach Bird, aka Birdman, whatever you want to call me. I will be showing up. But I appreciate y'all being here today. And we're just fresh off Cabo. I got home at 1:30 in the morning, day before yesterday. And so yesterday was a long day. Got home at 1:30 and had Zooms straight up first thing in the morning, like normal, right? And we did it. We made it through Monday, St. Patty's Day to everybody. Happy St. Patty's Day. And now today I feel like a normal human being, right? It took us a day to kind of get acclimated after getting home that late in the morning. But what a beautiful, beautiful trip. If you made it, good job. Congratulations. If you didn't, you missed probably one of the better ones. But the good thing is Brent does record these events. The content will be out soon. It's nothing like a live experience. But wow. Walking through the resort, seeing Ed Milet sitting there having a cigar, and like one of my agents sat down and had lunch with him for 45 minutes one-on-one. I think Ed Milet would cost $100,000 for coaching, right? Just sat down, had lunch, had a cigar, talked to Ed Milet for 45 minutes. Hopefully it changed this young man's mind because he needed an adjustment, in my opinion. But what we're focusing on today is the balance between business and personal development. And Jim Rohn is one of my favorites. And listening to him throughout the upcoming in my career, he was definitely a pillar in what I was focused on in my real estate career. And so I have something I want to play for you today. It's a short 1-minute thing. And I'm going to pull it up real quick. Saved. Here we go. So 1 minute. Do me a favor. Pay attention to the words. Stop what you're doing. Stop multitasking, whatever you're doing. 1 minute. Listen to it. Soak it in. See if it affects you like it affected me when I listened to it. All right.
Everything changed for me when I understood this philosophy. Learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. That's the simple philosophy that changed my life forever starting age 25. If you work hard on your job, you can make a living, which is fine. If you work hard on yourself, you can make a fortune, which is super fine. I didn't mind working hard on my job, but things didn't seem to change that much. Then I started working hard on myself to qualify. So let me put it in a philosophical phrase now. This is worth the price of whatever it costs for you to be here today. Here it is. Success is something you attract. Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by becoming attractive. And the whole scope of this we call now personal development. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. Ooh. If you can multiply your value by 3, by 5, you can easily multiply your income by 3, by 5, by 10. But the key to doing it is to work hard on yourself. Be responsible, be a growing, attractive, powerful, skillful, communicating human being, and the world belongs to you. Everything changed for me when I understood this philosophy.
So, what'd you get out of that? Number one, he said the word attractive multiple times, right? Attractive character. When you're attractive, you're attracting people to you. You're not selling people into an opportunity, right? This is a production call. It absolutely relates to what your value proposition is to your clients, right? Are you an attractive character to your clients? Do they look up to you from an attractive posture of knowledge, education, experience, energy, tenacity? What is it? Right? So let's open it up a little bit. Let's talk about this. This is a big deal to me, right? I do my morning routine and this showed up today. And I'm in the process in my coaching program. We're rebranding and everything's community to me. I want to create a community of belonging, not a pay to play, a community, right? And there's entry points into communities. That's okay. But think about this for a minute. What he said, becoming attractive. What does it mean to you? By the way, it's a coaching call. You can take your mic off and it's interactive.
Your values, your valuables, attract your tribe.
Right.
Yeah. So remember when he talked about what you put into your business versus what you put into yourself, your personal development, right? A lot of us attach our self-worth, our self-esteem, our success to our business. But our business is just a byproduct. Invest in ourselves. Like after I listened to that, I got another message that was an opportunity to invest in myself. And I would have normally said no, just because I got so many things going on. Like the last thing I need is another one and like a hole in my head, right? But I said that would invest in me. That would stretch me a little bit. That's an area that is I've wanted to do it, but I'm not doing it. And I just immediately paid for it, committed to it. 3 days next week, 8 hours a day for 3 days. Next week. I just got home from Cabo. Drunk monkey, story after story after story why next week's bad. I pull up my calendar. I'm like, yeah, next week's bad. That's I wish it was another day. It's just got to be another day. But it's next week. And I'm like, there's no way. It starts on Tuesday, the 25th. That's my busiest day, my coaching day. Oh my gosh. And then Wednesday and then Thursday, 3 days in the middle of the week. I just got back from 10 days being in Cabo. And I started looking at all the things on my calendar. I'm like, yeah, that's not really that important. Yes, I'd have to reschedule a couple things, but yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm committing to it for me. Now, there's might be a couple things in my business that I have to push off to Friday or even another day that I might be off normally, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it for me because I know that's going to move me and stretch me in a personal development way. And I took action, right? I told you my word for this year is initiative. Take an initiative when you think of that. When you think about helping somebody, take the initiative to do it. When you think about, I really should be more committed to my business, taking the initiative to change. You're not a freaking tree, move, right? And so, again, you don't have to open up on this call, but this call is made for coaching. I want to help you grow through that process.
To me, it's about who you are being. Like sometimes I get upset with my husband, right? And I could react a certain way. And one of the things that I've been working on is like, okay, if I would be in this moment, this person, avatar model, who I want to be, how would this person react? So it doesn't start with how should I react? It starts with who do I want to be so I can react a certain way. The order of the questions is different.
Dude, that's so good. Anna Marie, so good. Me too. Guilty, right? Just in Cabo, Kirsty and I had not an argument, but we were just not on the same page. We were like this, trying to have this conversation. And I said, hold on a second. You're attached to your story. I'm attached to my story, and they're like this. What about if our stories really look like that? Like at the end of the day, do you love me? Yes. Do you want the best for me? Yes. Do you want me to see your side of it? Yes, of course you do. And mine are all the same things, right? The difference is, am I attached to my story enough that I'm willing to be here? I'm not. So I'm detaching myself from the story and I'm like, this is all I care about. All I care about is I show up like you want me to show up. All I care about is I hear things like you want me to hear them. Now, I'm a guy, you're a woman. John Gray, beautiful Dr. John Gray, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, right? We're from two different planets. We communicate differently. We absorb the language differently. We have different emotions. We have all these things. So there's biological things going on. There's background, the way we were raised going on. We're set in our ways in certain areas. So when we get under stress, we go back to what we know and we're willing to die on that hill. But that's not the hill that I'm in love with her on. Right? So this is not relationship 101 class today. But when we talk about personal development, it is to me. You coach what you're going through. You coach to what's happening in your life, good, bad, indifferent. So I might speak to one of you now. I might speak to the tens of people that will watch this later, right? And hopefully it's more than that. But you get my point. And so I love that when we look at that, put the oxygen mask on yourself. I say that a lot in my coaching. Hey, I appreciate all the things you have going on with your team and everything else. You've got to put the oxygen mask on yourself or you die while you're trying to help them. Right? And so now when we look at our business and my little ion thing's going to go off in a minute, so I'm going to drink it. I'm making ionized water. Gary Brecka told me in Cabo that this is like a major helpful thing. So I'm doing it because somebody smarter than me told me to do it. And I'm like, oh, I got one of those things at home. I just haven't been using it. And so it just beeps. So now my water's fully ionized. You see how cloudy it is? And so the body accepts it better. So let me down this thing. You guys think about that for a minute and come back with what's going on for you in that language and that mental thought.
Kind of along the same lines, Randy. I was just thinking, I mean, tomorrow I think is the 5-year anniversary of the lockdowns here in California. And so everybody was shutting down, going home from their jobs,
That's right.
reuniting with their kids and their spouses and spending every waking day in the same house, going on walks, starting their own. And what followed shortly after is I think everybody started on this personal growth path while they were out, is where you saw people changing what they were doing for a living, losing weight, going sober,
reflecting what's important,
whatever it is. But it's interesting because I think Tony Robbins in one of his early books had written about how trying to gather that initiative that you gain when you really have something major happen in your life to make change.
Yeah.
You go through a divorce, somebody dies, you get laid off, whatever, and all of a sudden you have this spontaneous need to make real change for yourself. And like, wouldn't it be nice if we could all do that on a random Tuesday in March?
So cool.
So if you can kind of gather that motivation and that desire to make changes, that you can make massive change in a month or 3 months, or you can, like you said, be a tree and be exactly where you're at 3 months from now. And it doesn't have to happen on January 1st. It doesn't have to happen because of COVID lockdowns. It can just happen because it needs to happen. And so that's what made me think when you're saying those kind of personal growth path.
Totally. I love that. So COVID happened in December was the first time, and then January became public knowledge, and then March 11th is the day that they officially announced that we had a worldwide pandemic. And you're right, everything changed, right? So many things changed. Like, for instance, construction, everything was open room concepts, and then all of a sudden people go, we're all together. I need my space. So we went back and we changed the way that people were viewing their living spaces. Outdoor patios became a necessity for remodeling. All these things changed just in that space. Divorces went whoop because all of a sudden they're together, forced to be together, and all of a sudden they realize they don't like each other as much as they thought they did because the environment changed. Babies went up through the roof, right? People were making babies. They were home all day, and we had a baby boom from it. So all the things that happened from this otherwise, tragic time in our history, it changed a lot of us forever. But I agree with you. I think self-development and personal development really changed. And alcohol use went rampant. And then all of a sudden the movement towards away from alcohol has begun, right? There's actually a very measurable movement happening for not drinking whatsoever. And we're seeing a complete change in the mindset and mentality around alcohol specifically, right? And I think that all comes from the same place. So I love that's a great takeaway. Great takeaway. The message I hear is let's devote equal or more time into our personal development than we do our business. Our business will make us fine, but personal development will make us super fine, right? I love that. So let's relate that to transactional business, because that's the ultimate goal, is helping our families through increased income and eventually increased income and less hours, right? We want to create a machine that has some form of duplication in our real estate business to buy back our time. And that's difficult for most agents to do because they view the phone ringing as a $5,000 or $10,000 commission. Rightly so. That is true. But a doctor has limited hours, right? And if you call a doctor's office and say, yeah, I'd love to get in today, is 2:00 work? They're going to laugh at you. They're out 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever the number is, right? That is because boundaries of the business. Do you have those boundaries in your business? I could tell you if you're selling less than probably 12 homes a year, you don't have the boundaries. They come with production value. Some do, but it's occasional, right? It's rare. Of all the coaching clients I've ever coached, I talked to a guy that's doing 700 transactions a year. He goes home every day at 4:30, not 4:32, not 3:36. He goes home at 4:30, right? He has a schedule they're following to the T. You could watch him drive by the coffee store in the morning at the exact same time because he has a 5-day schedule or a 4-day schedule in his real estate business. And he's doing 700 transactions a year. And I talked to an agent doing 18 transactions. They can't even get their hair done because they just don't have time. I haven't got my nails done in 5 months. It's so crazy right now. That's so amazing. How many transactions are you doing? I've done 9 this year. Okay, I can help that if you're coachable, if you're open, right? And that's what this is about, the awareness. So if you have the awareness to do things that are uncomfortable and change, but it's your prerogative. You're not a tree. You can move. You can move geographically. You can move directions. You can move mentality, all those things. Any of the stuff ringing for you where you want to raise your hand and talk to me, ask me a question. What can we do to help move the needle for you specifically? And by the way, I could stop the recording so it's just us. That's the tight community. If you ever want to ask something that you don't want recorded for later and don't want to see it on YouTube someday, just ask. I'll stop the recording. That's the benefit of being on it.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
What resources would be good agents who work in a mountain community where it's a mix of people who live there and investors that isn't as centric in people buying homes to live in it, a mix? Who are good resources? Who are good agents to get inspiration from?
So I can barely hear you. I think it might be your headphone, but
Is that better?
that is better, way better. Thank you. So what is a marketing way for mixed? I missed a little bit of that. I'm sorry.
Yes, attracting. So we are in a mountain community, a resort community.
Yep.
So our clientele are both the investors who
Mhm.
do not live anywhere near us, and some of whom are in
Yep. Absentee.
and yep, and the people who are buying homes. And what are some good people who have this pinned in their market? We're not unique. There are other, destination markets. Who would you recommend we get inspiration from? Who are some people who have this dialed in who we can see what they're doing that works in their
So
market that we can tweak in
I don't
ours?
know people because there's a whole bunch of variables. What's the area? What kind of market? What is it, a VRBO market, or is it a short-term, long-term rental market? There's a lot of different variables. But I would say I would first start Googling and searching for people that are in those kind of markets that you're talking about, transient markets or absentee buyer seller markets. That's number one I would do. And then I'd look for communities that service those kind of markets. There's a lot of communities, both in Facebook and in the real estate space, that I would get into those communities to learn more in that. And then I would also go probably find a couple of those agents, and then I would ask them if I can interview them to find out what is a marketing strategy that they're using that's winning and working. That's if that's
Okay,
answering your question, that's what I would do.
thank you.
Is that helpful?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, Randy. I don't know if it's something that would appeal to you, Lori, but I know Ricky Carruth has built his entire business in Gulf Shores, dealing with a lot of absentee owners in the condo market there on the Gulf.
Yeah.
He's a lot of outbound calling and building email lists and stuff. So it's not everybody wants to do that, but he's built quite a solo business doing that. So that's somebody to.
Yeah. You're right. He does 100 transactions a year. So that might be a good start for you. I mean, I know several agents like in Ponte Verde Beach that work in that particular market. A lot of the Florida communities have that opportunity, as well as some San Diego and so on. Where are you located at, Lori?
Just outside of Yosemite.
Yosemite?
Yosemite
Okay.
National Park.
All right. So yeah, I don't know if you're looking for beach communities or just some an avatar of a person that's looking for that.
Well, I'm figuring that anybody who has a destination market, they have some of the similar problems that I do, which is our people are coming from, for us, the Bay Area, LA, China,
Yeah.
you know, and
So where my brain goes on marketing is where are those people looking? Like let's picture this avatar. I use this a lot, right? Let's picture the avatar of this person you're talking about, which is absentee owner. They live in the Bay Area. They're looking for destination places. Where are they looking for these destination places?
I would think on Zillow and things like that.
Zillow, YouTube. YouTube would be my number one place I'd go to because you could become the expert in that particular area on YouTube. But I would go to where they're looking and where they're getting their information for these particular things. Could be magazines, could be websites, could be community groups, could be real estate groups. It could be Facebook ads targeting, right? It could be geographical targeting. I would really kind of, if that's your niche and that's something that you're really leaning into with passion, then I would go all in on that and become the expert in that particular area. And then along the way,
And
I think you'll find
if anyone wants to refer people to us, our mighty little team, we are experts in short-term vacation rentals up here.
awesome.
What we do.
Yeah, beautiful. Appreciate it. Very cool. Thank you. Anybody else? We have a couple minutes left. Any questions you want to ask or anything I can contribute to? What's the biggest pain in your business right now? What's the biggest pain point?
Sellers thinking their homes are worth more than they are, even though we consult and advise them as far as what they're worth, and they're being very, very stubborn at the moment. I've got 3 of those right now, almost exact same situation.
I just had one expire yesterday. Same reason.
Yeah, so definitely it's a timing of the market thing right now. My suggestion on this is you stop telling them what has to happen and let the data lead the way. So you have to have the data lead the way, or else they just think you're a greedy agent. A lot of sellers already think that it's just all self on you. And if you keep going in there saying, "Hey, I don't agree with this," or this is just the data, but this is what's going on, they cannot argue the data, but they can argue with you until the cows come home. So I find too many agents just go, "You have to trust me. I've been in business 20 years and this and that." And they're not really laying out the data in a big, big way. The data is your superpower. And so from the day it's listed, hey, I honestly think that 800,000 sounds right. It feels right. I can support it through Compass. I could do all these things, but the bottom line is the buyer is going to determine. The market's determining the price, not you and I. Is that a fair statement? Yes. Get them to nod. I said, I'm going to provide you with weekly statistics and stats and market analysis so you can watch the market. We're watching it together. What I don't want to do as an agent is I don't want to come in and say, "Oh my God, we've been on the market 7 days. We need to lower it $50,000." That is not the way to run our business, right? We want to look at the data. If the data is supporting this, then that's a real conversation we need to have. All right. Now, if you overlist it, that's a little different conversation. You can pre-warn them that, hey, I'll list it at this for 30 days, then we got to go to Y. We'll start at X, we'll go to Y, something like that. But having these conversations, you should get to the point where you don't have to ask for the price reductions. They're going to say it. Hey, thank you for this. It's been 3 or 4 weeks. We're talking about the same things. The market's getting tighter. Rates have not come down like we proposed that we thought they would. And they're going to say, "So what do you think we should do?" That's your cue. That's when you can say, "Yeah, I appreciate that. Together, we've been watching this. And here's my opinion. I'd love to hear yours because we're in this together." That is a way that you can get them to absorb the data because the data is indisputable. You are disputable. Doesn't matter how long you've been in business and how many sales you've had. You're just trying to whittle me down because you want to sell. It's hard to get away from that unless you are the data expert in this area. All right. And when I'm talking data, I'm talking about really spending the time getting to know your market and your data. We talk about it a lot, but I'm not talking about like, yeah, the average sales price is only selling for 93% of the sales price. Well, why'd you list it at the number you did? I'm talking about, hey, we've been on the market 7 days. And in those 7 days, there's been 13 home sales, 3 of them in your price point. So 3 brides and you're the bridesmaid. Okay. So I'm just I'm not asking for anything. I'm just giving you information. This is what's going on. By the way, we had 13 price reductions in your price range over the last 7 days. I'm not asking for anything. I'm just giving you information. And then the next week, okay, we've had another 11 price reductions. We're seeing a trend of price reductions. Rates are holding steady. The Fed's changed it, didn't change it, whatever's going on. And then, by the way, I pulled up your 5 competitive properties that we're going to review. It's been 2 weeks. Here's the 5. 3 of them were on our original CMA. These 2 ones are new ones. Where do you think you stand out with these? Do you see yourself being the bride in these 5 competitive properties? And I might take them to see the 5 properties if we're really struggling. Hey, let's set up a day. We're going to go to the 5 competitive properties. We're going to set up showings in all of them. You're going to go in as my buyer. We're going to look at these properties from an objective eye, because it's important in this market with less buyers that you are the bride and not the bridesmaid. The worst thing we can do is be the bridesmaid 3 or 4 or 5 times in our 90 or 180 day engagement together. You see, I've removed my necessity for a commission out of that conversation. I've moved to the data. The data is indisputable. Okay. That's your best arrow in your quiver, in my opinion. All right, you guys, listen, thank you for being here. My apologies for messing up the time. The time change got me, but we are 11:30 a.m. Pacific time every single week. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for supporting. All right. This is a free call. It's a free coaching call, but there is a price to everything in life. Invite a guest, invite a friend. EXP, Coldwell Banker, Remax, it doesn't matter. Invite somebody that could use some production advice, production help, and then we'll do the best to move the needle in that business. Okay. Remember, move the free line, move the mindset into personal development for yourself, and you will become attractive. You'll attract other agents to your operation, to your organization, to your business, to your team by helping others. Okay. I appreciate you. Have a great day. See you guys. See you soon. Bye for now.